Look, we're not doing a bit this time, okay? Because it's so contrite to write those. I mean, you and I, a person, under most legal definitions, talking to a box? Who finds that entertaining? Honestly, no. I am not specious against boxes. You can cram that. Oh, hey, the box and I are having constructive, creative debate about how the show should go. Sorry you had to hear that, and we are going to move right along. You probably noticed something's going on in my voice. Sorry. His fault. No, I did not misgender you. Fuck off. I don't even know what kind of gender you could be if you were cardboard. I mean, I've known people to be cardboard, but I don't know what... Why am I even entertaining this? Let's just get on with this. Welcome to Mystery Box Edition of Give It a Shot, the Funny Voice Edition, and apparently some internal conflict that I'm having with a box. But that's neither here nor there. Here's the candidates for this review. So we still got Auto Be Good, Out of the Wilderness. It's a yellow Jeep. Whoop-de shit. Don't try and make it harder. God fucking mighty. Next, we have Itty Bitty Heartbeats. We do things from the heart. Sure. Now we're getting into the puppet stuff. Castillo and Mission Mouse. They're ugly, and I can only imagine this will be ugly. The other puppet-looking thing, Pahafui Island, Do It Again. Or Do It Afraid, because I have multiple college degrees and I cannot read. Maybe it's because my voice is throwing me off. And then finally, the new edition. This is Care Bears 21st anniversary. The very first episode, The Land Without Feelings, special edition DVD. I don't know what makes it special. I don't really care. But it is Care Bears, so it's something that some people might know. And we'll see what their pilot episode looked like. I sound terrible. Yeah. And don't even start, alright? So, we got the movies in the box. We're gonna dance. Without moving our legs. Woo! And down. Now, to pull out our review. And here. Oh, it is Castillo in Mission Mouse. We are finally going to watch watch this. Oh, the hideousness of it made me just cough up a lung. Yay! The things I do even when I'm sick. Well, let's see if the mouse is worth the mission. I'll see you later. Well, I was wrong. This was not puppets. I thought it would be, but it is not. And it's not even called Castillo. It is Castillo. Because this is apparently originally German. I was not expecting that, but I don't really know what to expect when it comes to this box. And this, there's a lot to really, I'm gonna need water. So this particular DVD has sat in the box probably, and I'll check it when I do the editing here, has probably sat in the box for well over a year. I don't think it got to Skydancer's territory, but it's probably sat in there a long time. I had thought that it was going to be picked earlier than this, but it has not. And when I said that it's not puppets, it's actually stop motion animation, kind of like in the style, I would say reminiscent of Wallace and Gromit, only on a tighter budget. Definitely not in the aesthetics, that's for sure. Because these characters, oh boy, are they ugly. I'm going to talk about that, and there will be a shot for that when I get there. So, let's just break it down. So, Castillo in Mission Mouse. I was going to watch, there's 5 episodes on the thing, and the second one was Route 66. And I really wanted to watch that, but considering that the title of the damn thing is Mission Mouse, I figured I must figure out what Mission Mouse is. So I watched that. And the story revolves around somebody who visited the town, whatever the name of the town is, because I don't care. They don't even mention the name. I think it was on a map, but the map is in German, and I don't know. Because that's the bigger thing here. The whole thing is in German, it's just dubbed over. There is English, but a lot of things are labeled in German, and I know some German. I don't know a lot, though. So I can't figure it all out. The Duke, I keep on thinking he's the king, because he most of the time you would think royalty, you think king. The Duke had a guest, and the guest went back home, but then sent a gift. And the gift was a mouse that his daughter instantly falls in love with and asks to keep the thing, and she's allowed. She names the mouse Lolita, and the interesting thing about this mouse is it is not stop animation. It is computer animation. So it's an interesting mix that they actually put some CG in with this with this stop motion, and the crude animation of the mouse actually kind of blends in well. But anyway, I'll talk about aesthetics later. Says yes, keep the mouse. It's totally fine. Well, the mouse escapes because she is an idiot and doesn't realize you should keep the cage shut. I don't expect much out of this. I don't even know what the daughter of a duke would be. Like, is she a duchess? I don't know. She's not a princess. But I think all of her brains are in her zit on the front of her face. The mouse escapes and starts to create mayhem in the town. And begins eating a lot of food. But there's a catch. But it's discovered later on that wherever music is played, this is where the mouse is going to be, because the mouse dances to everything. And the first instance we see, I think the place is called the Dragon's Inn. And this is where I was like, okay, maybe there's something going on here, because there's a dragon and his mother.
Anyone who wants to eat sausage in my inn has to pay for it, with his life if necessary. Mother, there. Oh!
And I'm going to assume she is a serving wench, because everything in this thing is kind of medieval, but there's some things in it that are more contemporary, like a record player, which is really weird. So I have no idea where in time this would be. But the way everything seems to be medieval. But Mother is well endowed. Like she's hiding some dragon eggs in her blouse. It's impressive. So if this is for kids, there you go. And so she catches the mouse eating a sausage. Looks like a donut. So this is another case of Brock loving jelly donuts, which are clearly rice balls.
These donuts are great. Jelly-filled are my favorite. Nothing beats a jelly-filled donut.
Whatever. And the mouse escapes. Mouse does this a couple of times. One point steals a turkey that is for the Duke, and then devours it whole. And that's like the last straw for the Duke. Now we're gonna have a appointed person to take care of this problem, and it's I think it's the Blacksmith. I don't know. They didn't really give his title, but he is now appointed to take care of this rodent. And well, he gets a little bit too rambunctious, and his policies end up doing a lot of weird things.
Because food supplies are rationed. What? The blacksmith's orders. He's now the Major Field Brigadier, or something.
Well,
Not to dismiss it at all, but probably the most sexual thing in this show for children. Two of the ladies are ordered to polish the Catapult Balls.
From selling vegetables all day, too.
Or peeling potatoes. There's something about polishing,
I know just what you mean.
So they're rubbing balls, and just on that humor alone, it deserves a shot, because it was kind of weird, because the dragon's mother is one of the people who's doing this, so you got that and on that, and it... Germany. You really know how to indoctrinate your children early. Shout out to my wife on this one. I've never heard of 3D, but that's what this stuff is called. And it is called Galaxy Lime. I think I'd rather eat space dust. But it's not the worst thing, but it is what it is. Anywho, moving forward. So this dude is doing all these things, and it's basically destroying the town because people are still playing music. The mouse dances. He has the Grand General, whatever he calls himself, starts launching these brass balls with his catapult, and ends up demolishing the entire town. So the dragon comes up with a good idea. Hey, we gotta get rid of the mouse. It turns out it likes music. That's what it's doing, and we gotta get rid of it. So they devise a plan to play some music on a catapult, draws the mouse out, and the mouse will dance, and then they'll launch it out of the town. You know, it might potentially kill the thing, but whatever. They execute the plan, it happens, and the day is saved thanks to a dragon. Now, that's the story. The animation, I don't care really how ugly it is. I gotta give people props for doing stop motion. It is I don't want to say a lost art, but it is a quickly diminishing art. Not too many people do it, but if you do it well, it looks beautiful. And they have moments where it looks good. The only problem is the characters are ugly and questionable and ugly. And then there's the mouse. The mouse looks like it was rendered using a janky Sega Saturn, or maybe even a 32X. It doesn't look that great. Hell, it might have been powered by an Super FX chip. It looks kind of odd. When did this come out? 2006. So you'd have thought maybe the mouse would have been a little bit better, but it's not. It's very polygonal. Something that you might see on Nintendo 64 on the close-ups. Everybody's kind of a dope. There's like no real. I don't want to say intelligent, but like common sense just doesn't run in this town at all.
For goodness sake! Baguette! What's going on here?
Your lunch is running away, monsieur.
Oh, my royal lunch!
I mentioned this earlier, but I don't know what the time period is for this, because everything seems medieval. Because we have a duke who is kind of aloof. I actually believe that the King of Town from Homestar Runner could probably run this village a whole lot better than this guy. And this is a man, and that's a man who's eaten like 10 pounds of gravy without the mashed potatoes and lives with a poop smith. I think he's more qualified to run this place than the Duke. And you have an advisor who's a bird, and I find it really ironic that the advisor calls the mouse ugly. I mean, have you looked in a mirror? You're not exactly winning people with your smile, if you did have teeth. And then the other characters, again, like the dragon's mother, which that's a whole nother. Wow. I think there were some 5-year-olds who had sexual awakenings watching this in Germany. So, you had that. In a way, it's got charm. Not much, but it's got charm. It's just so aesthetically ugly, even for stop motion. And there are, like I say, there are a lot of things that just don't seem to make sense between like the record player and the fact that the blacksmith's son has a backwards baseball cap on his head, and yet we're still medieval because we still have a monastery, we have monks and an abbot. So it's like, when and where are we? I don't understand, because that, like, everything doesn't mesh here. And I'm kind of left in this bog of confusion, which is probably where the dragons belong, which I don't really understand. That's the other thing I don't really understand. You have a dragon narrator, who introduces and ends the show. I don't know if he's supposed to be the older version of the dragon in the story or not, or if he has anything to do with that dragon, because even he has anachronistic things. Like he has a problem with the mouse in the beginning to illustrate this story. And then at the end, how he solves his mouse problem, he uses sound as well, except he has this massive woofer of a speaker, and it's supposed to be cassette tape, which it technically is, but it's a mini DV tape that he puts in a player, and it plays a cat screaming to scare away the mouse. And I don't know if that's supposed to serve as the parable here, like, you know, physicality doesn't always win out. Sometimes you gotta use your brain. Like, I don't know if that's supposed to be the moral. Like, this isn't, you know, usually what I have in the box for Give It a Shot is some sort of, usually there's a lot of Christian stuff in there. For no real fault of my own, other than the fact that I grab this stuff and throw it in the box. But this is not one of them. So, like, I don't really know if there was a moral to this story or not, other than maybe, using your head to take care of problems. Although there's certainly other things you could have done, including maybe explain, like, what the mouse is doing. And, like, why does no one in this town talk to each other? Like, the daughter of the Duke doesn't know that he has posted a reward for the death or capture of this mouse at 1,000 pieces of gold.
State of emergency? Rubbish. What exactly is all this about? 1,000 gold pieces? For a mouse that's eaten a few sausages?
Whatever, it was 1,000 gold. Whatever that means. And she didn't know about it. Like, you live with him. Why don't you know? And are you so aloof as the Duke that you couldn't put two and two together that the mouse that your daughter just acquired could be the same mouse? And that maybe if you read the letter that came with the damn delivery box, you might be able to figure some things out here and make connections. I find it bizarre that the dragon is the one who puts the pieces together to concoct the plan to get rid of the mouse, which, first of all, a foreign dignitary sent you that mouse. That doesn't mean you have to keep it, but you need to do something with that gift. Booting it out of town in a questionably ethical way, I don't know. That's just kind of weird. But then again, the whole thing's kind of weird. Because, I'm getting all these stereotype accents, and it's supposed to be German because almost everything is written in German, and I'm just like, okay. But in the grand scheme of things, overall, this isn't awful. The story's not the best constructed thing, but it's not awful. It's just the characters. They're ugly. I mean, that was pretty much the reason why I even put it in the box, because the cover art had some of the ugliest characters that I've seen in a while. I just wish I knew they weren't puppets. They were actually stop motion. So it's two shots primarily because of the aesthetic. Like, the story's fine. It's okay, other than some questionable things like rubbing brass balls and well-endowed mothers of dragons, which, how did that happen? But we're not going to talk about Smough and whatever Smough has under those scales. If you want to do that, you just go to DeviantArt. I am aware of that, so shame on you if you go look. I just said a thing. You're the dirty fool who decided to look at it. So yeah, it was what it was. Two shots, primarily because of how oogly everything is. The story's not bad. Germany, you got some issues, but everybody knows that. They're probably a lot less than what we have. Clearly. So, that's it. That's Castillo, Mission Mouse. Finally out of the box after probably a year or more. So, until next time, party people, toodles.